Welcome back, Fantasy Alarm TV, everybody. I'm Jeff Mans, along with Pimp Daddy Mac, Ray Flowers, previewing Week 5 in the NFL. Ray, let's go line by line here and talk about some differences of opinion that you and I have, some head-to-heads we talked about during the week, you and the SiriusXM Fantasy Drive, me and the Fantasy Alarm Show. And we'll start out with the quarterback position, and a guy that I'm pretty high on that you're completely taking a big old crap all over is Matt Ryan this week. You know, you look at Atlanta going against the New York Giants, terrible pass defense in New York, should be a high-scoring game. I've got Matt Ryan 7th on my quarterback rankings.
Well, I worry about Hester having to be involved because Douglas's foot issue. I worry about them losing a couple of players off the offensive line. I'm not predicting doom and gloom for Ryan.
Wait, you need an offensive line? What? Since when in an offensive line? Throw the ball, baby.
Wait. That's one of your biggest things, Jeff. The scheme, the team.
So stop using my points against me, Flowers.
Yeah, well,
stop doing
the numbers, Jeff. You're not concerned?
Well,
you don't look at that and you have worries.
Oh, no doubt about it. When you have Levine Toilolo as your starting right tackle at the end of last week, which he was, the tight end, that does possess a problem. Here's what's going to happen, though. The Giants don't have a pass rush. Jason Pierre-Paul is their pass rush, and that guy's hurt, writhing on the ground every 4 or 5 seconds. So I'm not that concerned about the Giants' pass rush. It's going to be a high-scoring affair. The Giants' offense is clicking right now and working. Atlanta's defense sucks. You got Julio Jones, Roddy White healthy. You've got everybody from Anton Smith, Jaquez Rodgers, and Devontae Freeman still there. Yeah, no Harry Douglas, it looks like this week, but Matt Ryan's going to put up numbers. Are they going to win the game? I don't know. That's a coin flip right now, but they're going to throw the ball a lot. And you give me 45 pass attempts with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Roddy White, Ray Flowers. I'm taking it all day, every day. Who's your quarterback? Who are you going with?
Well, if he throws 40-plus times with those guys, I mean, you have to figure he's a quarterback one. So, again, I'm not saying that Matt Ryan's terrible and you can't look to him. But I would go with Tony Romo.
Oh, Romo.
The difference between, if Romo's throwing 28 passes and Ryan's throwing 43, we got a problem. But Romo's looked much better the last couple of weeks.
I think you have a problem, my friend. Your argument has a problem.
Oh, is that it? Fundamentally, there's a problem there?
Yeah, 20. You're right. 28 times. They're not gonna. They don't want to. They're running the ball. In Dallas now.
We know Antonio Bryant's an elite player and he can go for a massive game at any point. We had a couple of touchdowns from Terrence Williams. We saw a Jason Witten signing last week. 6 catches, 60 yards. He finally did something. We talked earlier on the Fantasy Alarm Show about DeMarco Murray and all the success he has had. If you want to make the volume argument, I got you. But Romo against the Texans doesn't scare me that much, Jeff. I'd still go with Romo over Ryan.
So I went in the Battle of Texas. I see the Cowboys keep the ball on the ground in this game against the pass rush. You don't want J.J. Watt up in your grill if you're the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to keep it on the ground at DeMarco Murray. And like you said, I don't think the volume is going to be there. Give me a running back, Ray. Which running back are you leaning on heavily this week?
I'm going Eddie Lacy. And people have heard this, and they're disappointed after the first 3 weeks. Last week he was supposed to come through against the Bears, and he didn't. Okay, and that's a concern. What I noticed was that he was on the field for like 96% of the snaps, and James Starks wasn't involved. Now we're hearing that, James Starks is going to get out there, and maybe he does, but this is still Eddie Lacy's backfield. Sooner or later, they're going to break things in the running game because of the effectiveness that the passing attack has. And I look at the Vikings, and Jeff, I don't get nervous about the Vikings.
You should be nervous about the Vikings because a divisional game, Eddie Lacy, 2 yards in a cloud of dust. I mean, the similarities between Trent Richardson and Eddie Lacy now are uncanny.
2.8 yards in a cloud of dust, Jeff. That's not.
Well, 2.8. That's even better. I mean, half of that is just his 0.8 gut spilling over to the other, past the 2 yard line. But the thing with Eddie Lacy is last week was his week. They gave him the ball. Like you mentioned, they used him. He was in there 94% of the time, whatever, got the carries. He might pick up a goal line carry, but as far as yards per carry production, just not going to be there in my mind. With the Packers so bad against the pass, I think the Vikings actually put up a decent amount of points. Going to keep Aaron Rodgers back in that shotgun and throwing the ball down the field to Jordy Nelson, the deep plays that they absolutely have to make. Instead of Eddie Lacy and his 2.8 yards per carry, how about Monty Ball here? A guy everybody's forgotten about, the Denver Broncos running back here, right? And the guy, everybody in Peyton Manning's offense, from Joseph Adai to Edgerrin James to Noshan Moreno, is a double-digit touchdown back. Monty Ball this week, playing against Arizona, At home, though, there's going to be plenty of fantasy production for Monty Ball. People are overreacting to the first 3 weeks of his season.
Well, you miss 3 weeks and then you go on a bye and people forget about you. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anything from Monty Ball in film this year, Jeff, that leads me to think that people took him as an RB1 are going to be rewarded for that. Maybe it starts this week. Okay, it's still very young in the season, but I got to admit, I just haven't been impressed by the youngster.
I'm more impressed by him. But give me him in the second year over Eddie Lacy right now, just the way that is going. And the history of success from Peyton Manning running backs is a nice precedent there to start out with. How about at the wide receiver position here, Ray? I know a guy I'm super high on that you disagreed with me earlier in the week about is Carolina wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin. Ray Flowers, I have him in the top 11. He's number 11 right now on my fantasyalarm.com rankings in a PPR format. I move him up to number 9 in non-PPR formats. Kelvin Benjamin is the guy. Carolina's cannot run the ball right now. They're down to the 4th-string running back. It's a tire fire there. Cam Newton's not running the football. He's throwing it up, and why not throw it to the 6'5", 240-pound guy? Kelvin Benjamin, 9th in yards, 10th in targets in the NFL. He's 21st in receptions and 12th in touchdowns. He's also number 7 overall fantasy wide receiver in both PPR and non-PPR formats. Ray Flowers, beat that.
Hey, yeah, well, I've been impressed, and for a young wide receiver, he has looked great. And he looks like the one guy that we see every year kind of explode at the wide receiver position as a rookie. So it's not necessarily a negative to him. I just think that a player that we have ranked lower this week at Fantasy Alarm is a better play, and that's Keenan Allen. Allen had 10 catches for 135 yards last week, a career-best effort. We've talked about, the fact that Phillip Rivers continues to get it done. I know that
how many touchdowns did he have? How many touchdowns in those 10 catches did he have?
0. And how many touchdowns have the secondary of the Jets given up this year? 112. Their defense in the back end is atrocious.
You're exaggerating. It's like 94.
Okay, it's horrible. My point is, we saw the emergence of Allen last week after he didn't show anything the first 2 weeks of the season. With that matchup, I don't know how you could go with a rookie with an injured quarterback and no running game.
Have you seen the Bears defensive backfield? Have you seen the Bears defensive backfield minus Charles Tillman? Bad, real bad. The only thing I can do is pick it off. But I'll take Kelvin Benjamin in that frame over, Keenan Allen won't get him down the field. I'm confident in Keenan Allen this week. But then Eddie Royal's going to steal those vulture touchdowns like the little pipsqueak that he is. That, no mas to me. That's no bueno. No bueno for me. Let's move on. Tight end position. Which tight end do you like? I'll give you the first one in the tight end rankings this week. Right? Who are you going to take a crap on?
Your Spanish is horrible, by the way. No bueno.
It is.
Great accent.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I'm Spanish, but my family came up here back when I was 8 years old. So
right.
My
Spaniards have frosted tips. Yeah,
they do. This is how I disguise myself as a gringo.
Jesus. Oh my gosh. Tight end. Let's look at the matchup with the Colts and the Ravens, and I'm going Dwayne Allen. A lot of people are on the Kobe Fleener train now. Oh, he scored a touchdown in back-to-back games.
Oh, come on. Kobe Fleener, backup tight end. No, thank you. Yeah.
Dwayne Allen's a much better football player. He's a better option to get into the end zone. He's a better option to see more targets. Andrew Luck is throwing the ball 45 times a week. And when you do that, your tight ends are productive. I think Allen this week should be a tight end 1, and I think we have him ranked as a tight end 2, Jeff.
It's just because Fleener's there, because Hilton, because Nix is getting red zone looks, because Reggie Wayne's the big reception guy. I can't go number 1 on Dwayne Allen. I like Dwayne Allen a lot. I really do. But in fantasy, you start Dwayne Allen, you're just basically, you're asking yourself for like a 3-catch, 44-yard performance. If he doesn't get in the end zone, I don't know if the absolute volume's going to be there. How about you're going to have Dwayne Allen over Larry Donnell? Are you really, Ray Flower? You're going to do that right now?
You think he's going to repeat the effort of 3 touchdowns at first one by the Giants since '62? Come on.
No, but you know how bad the Atlanta defense is. What linebacker is going to stop Larry Donnell this week? I think Eli Manning, the Giants, been relying on Larry Donnell this late. No way. The 3 touchdowns, I'm not saying to double down on that's ever going to happen again because we know it's not. But at the same time, just receptions and yardage alone, give me Donnell over Dwayne Allen this week.
Yeah, whatever, Jeff. We'll have to discuss this next week and see how we did.
Well, we'll see. We'll chart these. Again, tune in next week. Mans and Flowers show and the NFL will be the Week 6 preview next week. Only on Fantasy Alarm TV. Go to fantasyalarm.com for all the latest and greatest in fantasy sports. For Ray Flowers, it's been Jeff Mans. We'll see you again real soon.